an important part of any sort of coding is debugging. And what this means, well, it means a lot of things, but one thing it's going to especially mean, especially when you're relatively new at some programming language, is figuring out how to solve a problem based on some error code. So here I am in NetLogo. This is an agent-based modeling programming language and framework. It's really cool, but the errors are not super helpful. So here I just tried to run the program and I got this error, expected input to be a number, but got the list 111 instead. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So what I've got to do is take a look through all of this stuff here to try and figure it out. This is all the more difficult because, as I can see right here, I'm looking at an anonymous procedure. Now, this is another really interesting thing that comes up a lot when you're programming. Often you will create some procedure and you'll give it a name and you'll use it a bunch. Sometimes you create some procedure in a way where you don't give it a name, which sounds weird, and honestly, it is weird. For me, this is something I've been doing more than a decade, and I kind of am finally coming to the point where I feel fluent enough and comfortable enough with the whole thing that I'm cool with making anonymous procedures. But the downside in this context is that I got a bunch of anonymous procedures in my code and I don't really know which one I'm dealing with. So I've got to do a little bit of detective work, and the first bit of detective work I've got here is that I'm using a for each procedure. So that gives me something that I can control F for. So let's see where I find my for each instances. Here we go. I've got a for each here. This could be it. Have I got another one somewhere? I folded too much stuff. Here we go. Here's a for each. All right, it's just these two. So I've got two places to look for where to find my problem. So I know it's in for each, I know it's in one of these two places in my code, and I know it has something to do with an anonymous procedure. So in NetLogo, an anonymous procedure, it doesn't look like anything in here. Oops, let's undo that. Let's see what we've got here. Here I've got an anonymous procedure. So now I know where to look for the problem. Exactly solving that problem isn't something you need to see me do right now, but now I'm at the point where I've identified where the problem is, so I can now figure out what the problem really is, what this all means, and then I can find a way to solve it. So again, what's the big takeaway from this video? It's you have to do some detective work when you run into an error. And you'll run into a lot of errors. This is just part of the procedure. This is how you write code. You try stuff, stuff breaks, and then you find out how to fix the stuff. But to do that, you have to be able to find where the problem is. And the error codes will give you details, but not always enough to make it immediately obvious how to fix the problem. All right, good luck.